think, I mean, the recommendations I made yesterday stand to me, which is we have focused a great deal on what's happening in the court or in collecting data on impunity. I think we need to move back a bit and to be better at investigating the crimes and to confront the police when and if it is unwilling to conduct an effective investigation. That's the lesson number one I have learned. It is that we need to focus on what happened an hour after the attack or the killing, not 3 years later, and to be involved within almost immediately, because that is going to make a difference. As will, being prepared to, to conduct our own interviews, to do in the typical investigatory, criminal investigation work ourselves when and if the police is unwilling to do it. I have called for the UN to set up an international mechanism, because I think, again, it will disrupt, it will worry some of those states, and it will send a message that if you're not prepared to investigate, we will step in. So you better do something, and we will keep an eye on what you do, and we are prepared to help you, but do your work properly. Check, check the motives for the killing, look at the reporting work, look at the mastermind, identify the mastermind, and so on. If we could really break the status quo or the inertia around the investigations itself, I think we will be able to do far more and to achieve far more. And we really haven't tried that very much so far, because when I did my investigation, it was remarkable for me to realize that actually internationally there were absolutely, maybe there were 1 or 2 experience of international experience with investigating a single crime. We have experience investigating massive violations, genocide and so on, but a single crime, very, very little. And the one that have been investigated, actually most of it was done confidentially. So, we need to be able to say that one crime, by investigating it properly, you can actually send a message and transform the dynamic and the actions and the feelings around it. You can actually impact very deeply. And I think that has not been very well tested thus far. Even if, let's say other journalists investigate the journalist of the killing of a journalist, that may not be enough, but it will be sufficient to shake the official narrative around that killing. It will create a counter narrative. It will point to the weaknesses, to the limitations, to the compromise of the investigation. And all of that are super, super important. So I do think that by getting our hands directly involved into that stage, we can actually have make a difference. So that's the first thing. I think the countries that have, there are less and less of them, but the countries that have a better record in terms of protecting journalists and press freedom should really consider sanctioning those individuals who are threatening journalists or indeed who are killing them. I think it will be important, provided we have sufficient evidence, to start sanctioning people before they kill. You know, if you have a head of state or a minister that keep using his position of power to threaten journalists repeatedly, I feel that countries that want to protect press freedom should target that individuals, because by so doing, they may prevent or they may stop others from following suit. I do not at all recommend generalized sanction focusing on the state. I just say one individual who use their power, whether it's corporate power, media, in fact, some of them are media tycoon, or politicians who use their position to threaten journalists repeatedly, they should be sanctioned in one way or another. You can't travel to my country. Your bank account is frozen in this or that country. You know, let's start acting before the act of violence. That's what I have recommended with the Khashoggi sanctions. I call them the Khashoggi sanctions. You know, so that's some of the ideas I'm trying to push for. I'm working right now on developing a standard for the investigation of threats, so that first of all, countries that are willing to investigate threats can do it and can, you know, have some benchmarking for doing so. I think threats are the early warning. They are the red flag telling us something worse may happen. So to be able to investigate and respond to threats is really very important for protecting lives or well-being. So that's why I'm also working on that, developing those guidelines for civil society and for police or other officials to take threats seriously and to make it part of their policy, to you know, their duty to protect through an investigation of threats.